Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us. This is News Channel Nebraska. My name's Eric McKay. Let's take a look at our top headlines today. Beginning on Capitol Hill, where the Senate has passed legislation that could lead to a potential ban of the popular video sharing app TikTok. That bill, part of a wide-ranging foreign aid package the Senate approved Tuesday night. The legislation now heads to President Biden's desk, and he's expected to sign it. TikTok's owned by a Chinese company, ByteDance. Lawmakers have long railed against the company, saying it gives the Chinese government potential access to the personal data of millions of Americans. The bill passed on Tuesday would force TikTok to find a new owner within months, or the U.S. will ban its use in the country. About 170 million Americans use the app. TikTok has threatened to go to court if the president signs the bill. A bill in Tennessee, meanwhile, letting teachers carry guns in schools on track to become law. It's drawing powerful reactions, but the reality is it's nothing new. This past legislative session, Nebraska lawmakers passed a provision that will allow firearms in certain rural schools and will ease requirements for teacher training. Amy Kiley has more on both sides of the debate.
Their blood is on your hands!
Reactions are heated as a Tennessee bill allowing armed teachers is on track to become law. It's heading to the governor with enough support to override a potential veto after this House vote yesterday.
State troopers, please clear the gallery on both sides.
Opponents say they worry it could make schools more dangerous.
I spent this morning talking to Representative Williams, trying to ask him to add amendments to make it so kids won't die from this bill. All to no avail.
The goal is to get firearms away from schools, not put them in the schools.
Supporters say they want a way to stop school shooters quickly after a gunman left 6 dead at a Nashville elementary school last year.
A school's ability to respond in a timely manner is going to be the number one indicator on the ability to save lives.
Most states have some kind of law allowing armed educators. That's according to the Giffords Law Center. It says some let people with concealed carry permits keep guns in locked cars on K-12 campuses. Others go further, allowing schools to decide whether individuals can carry firearms. A few states even let members of the public with concealed carry permits bring guns into schools.
You don't have time to just sit and wait for police to arrive, because by the time they get there, the majority of the killing is already done.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
It is tourism season, and in some parts of Nebraska, that means big business. Casey Wannenberg takes us to Valentine, where they've experienced a significant uptick in visitors ever since the pandemic.
Here we have our fishing items.
Tyler Brown is a lover of the great outdoors. He not only lives and breathes it,
and our bait tank right here.
But that's also how he makes a living.
A lot of people spend time inside, and I think people need to get out. They'd be more relaxed.
Brown started Tooth and Whisker Guide Service in Valentine in 2015. Last summer, he bought Wright's Bait Shop with his wife, Andrea.
Probably some evenings, we get the kids out here.
And this week, they're moving to a new, larger location.
Even tourists that come in, tell them where they can go, fishing opportunities or even hiking opportunities.
Those tourists have been hitting this area of the heartland more often since the pandemic.
They bought their campers in 2020 and they want to use them. Being one with nature.
Regina Osborne is the Cherry County Tourism Director. Despite the country being shut down for several months in 2020, the Valentine area saw a 5% increase in visitors. The next year, it shot up another 25% and has continued to steadily increase each year.
One thing that you have to see is Smith Falls. So we have a lot of firsts and seconds in our area, and Smith Falls is the highest waterfall in Nebraska.
Back here we have our read.
Whether it's for the waterfall, golfing, or fishing,
here's a lot of our fishing items here.
The Browns are hoping this new building also means new business this tourism season.
It's important, I think, to have fresh air and feel like you're grounded to being outside and learning what's going on outside rather than inside all the time.
In Valentine, Casey Wannenberg, News Channel, Nebraska.
One of the fastest growing high school activities is substituting shoulder pads and cleats for monitors and keyboards. Esports, it was on the table to become an NSAA sanctioned event in January. That was denied, though. Luke Stera has more from one high school coach on the future of this growing activity.
Esports is one of the fastest growing activities in Nebraska.
I find it a lot of fun. Competitions just online are really fun.
So I'd say most schools in the state will probably have an esports team by the time we're seniors.
Wayne High esports team has more than doubled in size, going from 29 members to over 60.
It just gives them another outlet at school so they can participate at school, whereas they might not have something to do before.
State competitions are currently divided up into 3 seasons: fall, winter, and spring. At the January NSAA district meetings, activity directors overwhelmingly denied a bylaw that would have made esports an NSAA championship event.
There was just a lot of uncertainties, and with that, we just didn't feel comfortable advising our activity directors to vote yes.
But Whelan says he's open to the idea.
And this is one of the largest growing activities or sport, and it'd be great to have the students get the recognition they deserve.
As the team prepares for the final championship of the year this weekend, Ralston and Bonert say they are excited to see where esports goes in Nebraska.
There's a lot of games that are in professional esports that the NSCAA has not yet adopted, and I feel like we could see a lot of different games coming in the future years.
It used to be just like big schools that have enough money and people, but it's definitely grown with the amount of schools we see in our divisions that we're competing against.
The spring competition is set to kick off at Concordia and Seward on Friday. Reporting for News Channel Nebraska, this is Luke Stera.
The Food and Drug Administration says bird flu has been found in milk that's been sold in grocery stores. The agency says its lab tests detected remnants of viruses that had been killed during pasteurization when the milk's heated to kill pathogens. Experts say they don't believe the virus particles found in milk will make people sick, but the USDA is conducting more tests to make sure. Bird flu jumped to dairy cows for the first time last month. It's now been confirmed in at least 8 states. School meal programs are headed in a healthier direction. Wednesday, the U.S. Department of Agriculture announced new meal standards that will limit added sugar and sodium. The changes will roll out in phases over the next few years, beginning in the 2025 to 26 school year. Certain products like breakfast cereals, yogurts, and flavored milks will have limits on added sugars, with a full 10% cap on added sugars by the 2027-28 school year. While the USDA's initial proposal suggested a gradual reduction in sodium, the final rule requires that sodium be cut by 15% in lunches and 10% in breakfasts by the 2027-28 school year. It's been almost a century since there's been a bank in the tiny town of Magnet. All that changes this summer. Andrew Pfeiffer has the details.
A 100-year-old bank in Magnet is getting a makeover.
We're actually trying to keep it as close to the original bank as we could.
The original closed in 1932. Now Brunswick State Bank plans to make the building its own.
We wanted to capture the nostalgia of it actually being an old bank, so we just kind of wanted to stay true to the original building as close as we could.
The bank would be one of the only operating businesses in the town of 46 residents, next to a bar and a post office.
In Magnet, it's always got a little bit of a lore to it. There's, a tough town, a very prideful community, and we feel that's where we've thrived in before, so it made sense for us.
There is a potential challenge. In a town that small, a business could have a hard time staying afloat.
Luckily, we don't have to just rely on one location. We can piggyback off the other locations. We're close enough to several other smaller communities that we don't have to rely on Magnet alone just to make it work.
Brunswick State Bank says they've received interest from customers.
The historical part of it really excited us to be able to get this building and to maybe rejuvenate it and put some life back into it again.
Officials hope the bank will open mid to late summer. They will provide services such as mobile and online banking. Reporting for News Channel Nebraska, I'm Andrew Pfeiffer.
And a Southeast Nebraska radio station set to reach a major milestone this summer, KWBE in Beatrice celebrating 75 years on the air. Jake Bartecki has more.
The year was 1949 and the date was June 12th. That's when a new wave of music, information, ag reports, and sports coverage entered the fray in southeast Nebraska. That's when KWBE first went on the air.
Pretty honored to be a part of it. There's some pretty, Bud Pence was a integral part of how the station is set up for success, and to be doing some of the same work that he did is kind of humbling.
Brad Ochtmeyer serves as KWBE's station manager, a position once held by the legendary Bud Pence, who grew KWBE into an epicenter of information for counties of southeast Nebraska and northeastern Kansas. In 2024, the station remains going strong, getting set to celebrate its 75th anniversary this summer. Since the late 1980s, southeast Nebraskans have tuned in to hear program director Dave Needfelt on the KWBE Morning Show. He credits the community for KWBE's success.
The folks here in Beatrice and the surrounding area, the listeners, the advertisers, the sponsors. Again, we could not have done this without their support. It's been a team effort. It's been, like they say, it takes a village. And so we certainly appreciate what they have done for us over the number of years to support us and keep us on the air.
Anniversary Week will be one of celebrating. On June 14th, a celebration will take place at Charles Park in Beatrice with food trucks and live music.
Looking forward to it a big time. 75 years of broadcasting. Our official date is June 12th. We're going to have a celebration on June 14th. And it's just really a way for us to say thank you to the community and thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to all of our listeners.
Leading up to the celebration, KWBE has ran a 75 Days of Giving campaign awarding prizes from local businesses to valued listeners. Ochtmeyer says maintaining the common goal of serving the community with vital information has been crucial to KWBE's success.
Flood Communications' mission is to serve the underserved, and that's rural Nebraska, and to be a part of the communities that we're a part of.
In Beatrice, Jake Bartecki, News Channel Nebraska.
And you can stay up to date with the very latest by following us online. Head to newschannelnebraska.com, click on the News tab there. You can also follow us on X, like us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.